The audio should be working with my DJI mic. Wow, some pretty crazy news the last 24 hours. I'm sure you guys saw the president speak last night and saw no video footage from what happened in Iran. But they are saying that there was a complete mission success, whatever that means. But today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some FPV news. We're going to talk about what's coming up this week, and we'll talk about the FPV auction that's coming up. And I'm going to get some of the chores done that I'm doing here on the homestead today, on the homestead front. So I hope you guys are all doing good today. I'm just going to check on things over here at the coop and see what the status is. Let me know where you're tuning in from, how you guys are doing. Let me know if you guys have chickens. No reason to worry. I'm not worrying. Nope, no reason to worry over here either. No panic. This is No Panic Sunday. No Panic Sunday. All right, let's get in here and see what's going on. If you guys have any questions about anything, just let me know in the chat. If you have any drone related questions, FPV, we got some releases coming up this week, brand new releases. Again, some that I can't talk about, unfortunately, that I really want to share with you. I have some embargoes on a few items. I do have some really cool fixed wing coming up. I did build them the, oh man, the baby chicks are getting big. Just realized my carabiner is way over here in the corner of the coop. I don't know what or who did that. Might have been a child. These kids check the eggs and then they don't put the carabiner back on the hen box. No, it's on there. It must be an extra one. How about it? Carmen's just smiling upon me, giving me things extra. That was a nice carabiner too. You have 27 daughters or 27 chicks? Oh, awesome. 12 to 14 eggs a day. Damn, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. So we have 4 new chicks. One has a crossbeak. It's our first handicap chicken, so I don't know about her if she's gonna make it or not. She's about a quarter the size of our biggest chick, and her beak is pretty well to the side. The bottom beak is out to the side, so she tries to eat the best she can. She sits there and she just eats all day long. That's all she does is sit at the feeder and just eat. I have trimmed her beak as well. You can trim the bottom and the top a little bit to make it a little shorter and line up a little bit better, but hers is pretty extreme, so it's gonna be kind of hard. So yeah, somebody said, Ronnie Garcia said, my DJI Lite stopped working after a minor crash. Anyone with the same problem and how to solve it. So, oh man, Patriot First, you had a chicken with Down syndrome? Is that a thing? I mean, we're fairly new to the chicken thing for the last 4 or 5 years. I still consider myself a newbie. But these girls are happy to see me. They're like your best friends, man. They'll follow you all around the yard, and it's just because they want treats. So, as far as your DJI after one crash, not surprised with that. DJI tends to be one of those products that just doesn't have a very good track record for being super durable, like FPV drones. That's why a lot of people are on this channel, because you fly FPV, and it's a lot easier to repair yourself and fix, and in modern times, a lot better skill to have than just flying DJI. But I do feel sorry for you that your drone seems to have stopped working. You might have to contact DJI. Thanks for the thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching the live stream today and just chilling on Sunday. Let me know Where you chilling from? Oh, these girls got plenty of food in here. Oh yeah. Just checking on the status of this chicken poop situation in here, because chickens poop more than anything. What I need is my gloves. Never clean a chicken coop without gloves. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we dropped some bombs yesterday. And not figuratively, but physically. I guess you guys saw on CNN. We did live stream from the White House. I wasn't at the White House, but we did live stream the president saying his few words about the mission, what happened, and that was not a big surprise to everyone, because everybody knew that it was going to happen. Everybody knew the B-2s were on the way. It wasn't really like rocket science to know that that was going to happen. It's all over the news. So that tells me that the regime got a pretty big heads up. So if they wanted to move any of their laptops or computers or anything like that out of there, yeah, they probably have all their hard drives, which would be my guess. They probably didn't lose any of their data from their research and development on these weapons. So that's kind of unfortunate for folks that don't want them to have nuclear weapons. So I don't know, man. What do y'all think about that? No one's really talking about the data that they might not have lost. And nobody's really talking about that. Just talking about the facility. I mean, the biggest thing is, yeah, get rid of the facility. I'm sure the instructions aren't hard to find. It's probably on the freaking internet. Knowing the internet, how to build your own reactor. How to build your own fusion machine in a cooler. Am I right? And you know I'm right. Damn, I still didn't get my gloves. You know, just one of those things. I don't even care today. Do I really need them? People have been doing this for thousands of years, keeping chickens. I'm sure they didn't have gloves. Some extreme wussies in modern times. So let me stop here and look at this chat. Stop real quick and just scroll up. Yeah, keep watching the news, more to come. That's for sure. Crash the crap out of your 04 lights and pros and have yet to have an issue. That's awesome. But I do take extra precaution with my mounting. It says Shane and Mindy hail FPVRC. Cool. That's really good to hear, because I was about to make a video about it this week. Here's some news for you. Go out, and I even had ChatGPT try to do this, okay? You guys want to see the update on the girls? Check them out. Look how big they are now. Yeah. So go out right now and look for DJI 04 Pros. See if you can find any in stock, because I haven't been able to find any. I haven't found the first single DJI 04 Pro in stock. And as a matter of fact, on the DJI website, not only are they out of stock for the Pros, they're also out of stock now for the lights. So now DJI themselves has been sold out of the lights. And I was about to grab a couple lights just to have them. Because I think as all this war news and everything else progresses in supply chains, are going to be less and less. So that means that, unfortunately, FPV stuff falls into the lineup of much needed supply chain for various countries. And we're just in the crosshairs of that. Our hobby is just kind of too useful for the powers that be, you know what I mean? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. It's pretty much common knowledge at this point, but I am not able to find 04 Pros anywhere. So now the lights are sold out. So I am testing the Mark V with those batteries for the long range effort with Lions. Some of you guys saw that video pop up, and I had to quickly pull it down and make a change to it. And that's why it's not up right now, but it will go back up on, you'll be able to see that full GEP-RC Mark V long range setup video. Monday or Tuesday it'll come back up. So apologies about that. Anybody that was trying to watch that one and it got pulled, that's the reason why. That is the reason why. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. Patriot First to make a quad go for more than 5-10 minutes. But I get you. Definitely a different grade if you're talking about something like Skydio or Brink, or any of those companies can make drones that fly much, much longer, as well as some of the defense drones. But yeah, they shouldn't be after our batteries, our 6S 1300 batteries. You know, who out there in a battlefield wants a battery that only lasts 3 to 5 minutes? Probably nobody, unless they're completely desperate. That would be my guess. Yeah, y'all have to smell what it smells like in here. And honestly, if you've never kept chickens before, this smells like a spa compared to some big chicken houses I've been in North Carolina. You can smell them for a mile away, a couple miles away, some of them. You ain't never smelled such a foul stench as a commercial chicken house. That smells like a spa in Hawaii. But I clean this one about once a week. Ithel says, I would advise you to wait. Eventually they'll lift the ban. Chris says, do the Goggles 3 and the N3 have the same range? My guess on that would be no. I think that the Goggles 3 are probably superior, and if you're worried about range, you can get aftermarket antennas for the Goggles 3 that are already made by True RC out of Canada. Possibly our friend Alex over at Video Aerial Systems makes some for the Goggles 3, but what you really need to do is upgrade the antennas on the Goggles 3 if you want the most range. Welcome to the chat, Ronnie from Dominican Republic. Right on, must be fun flying down there. Got some good waves and kite surfing down there. Right on, Tommy from Tommy FPV out of Norway. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. Chief Babo says, Baby Jojo says, wow, you're literally talking about it as I send this. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Should I try to wait for the DJI ban to be reversed? You'll be waiting a long time for that to be reversed, because I have a feeling, and I was going to make a video about this too. Too bad for the guys that aren't watching the live stream right now, because okay, here's my intuition. And I have been wrong before, but I've also been right more than I've been wrong in this game. But I have a feeling that they will get banned. And they're doing everything they can right now not to get banned, including that new white paper, that security white paper that we showed you on Friday, as well as AES 256 encryption. If people watching this live stream don't know what that is it's one of the most impenetrable encryption systems in the world. Now they say it's not able to be unencoded, but I mean, I wouldn't hold your breath on that. But when it comes to the powers that be, if they want to get past your encryption, I'm sure they can. However, it is a very good step that DJI took to put AES 256 on their systems. Now that may just be for the more enterprise systems, not necessarily like your Avata 2. I don't see your Avata 2 getting AES 256. Page first said, all this will make sense in a short period of time. Sure hope so for a lot of people. So one of the things you got to do is this. Oh yeah, national security reasons are real. You know, from my experiences too with DJI, and I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. I was thinking about this. So here's the thing about, I've been dealing with DJI, or I was dealing with DJI as a wholesaler. I used to be a dealer, and I had a store. So I was one of the first drone stores on the East Coast, serving everybody up and down the East Coast and the West Coast. Even Hollywood stuff and big octocopters, cinema rigs. And this was back when we were doing FPV setups with something called Lightbridge. And some of you guys that are new don't even know what that is, but that was the original HD FPV in quotations system that had a monitor on it. It was really nice 1080p FPV. Back then what we called the video downlink for aerial systems. And a lot of enterprise people used to use that. So long story short, I used to do all that, and I dealt with DJI almost on the daily, okay? So as a company, I don't try to make this, I could go on forever talking about this shit, because this is just one of those companies that, like, I mean, you can obviously see my setup here would be considered like a mom and pop shop, right? Because we've always been a family business, and you know, we're not some mega corporation or related to Jeff Bezos as a startup or a satellite startup. But DJI started us out, you know, I was a tier 2 dealer. They started us out about 15% margin. And like over the years, we were doing better. And we gained traction with our subscribers, our YouTube channel, our store. The sales were flying. We were selling a ton of the Phantoms and the Mavics. And then they started selling them in the big box stores. And then all the tier 2 dealers on the bottom that helped them rise to where they needed to be. Once they got up to a certain level, like Walmart and Costco and Amazon, then all of a sudden our tier 2 dealer margins went from 15%, which was not that sustainable anyway, they dropped us down to 6%. And from 6%, they dropped us down to 3%. When they dropped us down to like 3%, I mean, that's basically like they need to be doing the drop shipping on that, because when I ship a Phantom, a $1,300 sale, by the time I shipped it, I think I made 20 bucks on a $1,300. So we closed our store. We closed our brick and mortar store. I just went online after that. But that's the kind of business that DJI is, right? So DJI is not worried about you, or not worried about the smaller retailers or the people who help get them going. DJI is only worried about DJI. And in the big picture, they're worried about being able to sell to the US. So with that sort of business personality at the top of the leadership of DJI, if there is anything in the books of evidence that lead to the word, I don't know if I can even say it in this live stream because it might just get this video pushed down in the algorithm. But if they were, they already know it, and they're just giving DJI time. I don't know why they're giving them this 6-month lead. Maybe they're just giving us the 6 months, right? Maybe it's not even about DJI. Maybe it's about letting us down easy from what we've been really consuming for the last 11 years and been used to consuming, right? So the hard part about this is that we don't have a US alternative yet. Like, you're not going to go out and buy a Skydio. You guys are not going to do that. I'm not going to do that either. And Skydio's not interested in doing that. People keep saying, oh, Skydio should make a Mavic killer. Skydio's not going to make a Mavic killer because Skydio is into the private sector. They can make more money in the private sector. Do you know how many people I know that left the hobby sector? What you're watching right now, this is the hobby, right? Look how small. Some of the YouTube channels do pretty good, but they're not huge. And they can make way more money in the private sector than this sector. And that's what a lot of them did. I won't name any names, but look around and look at some of the companies that used to be, that aren't anymore. And I mean, I'm not talking about just like the American ones. I'm talking about the Chinese ones too. They just disappeared. Right around 2017 was when some of them started to disappear. And by 2020, at the height of the FPV and drone thing in the Ukraine, when they started needing stockpiles of our stuff, that's when you really saw a lot of the companies just disappear, right? That really sucks. That put a huge dent in our hobby. Now, to take that even further, it's gone even further recently, because right now, the other half of our frames, motors, flight controllers, all that stuff is somehow making its way to Taiwan. So now we got our hobby stuff going toward Ukraine and Taiwan, and probably who knows how many ever proxies out there. But it's all getting dispersed, you know, in all of those different directions. And yeah. Chef Baby, Chief Baby says, yep, punching my gun on my $1,000 04. Got a trip to the DR and end of August, and I don't want to miss the vibes. Nope. Patriot First at Manamar. We had our, so I posted something last week about, you know, and the majority of you guys said, yeah, you know, in the modern day age, is it important to know FPV skills like it is like rifle skills? Like, and the majority of you guys said yes. And then we had a whole bunch of comments on there saying no, which was really interesting. Because, you know, that makes you think that it's probably just bots saying that stuff. Like, they wouldn't want you to learn FPV, right? Why would they want you to learn FPV? If you don't learn FPV, like someone commented and said, you know, it's better to be a jack of all trades and a master of none these days, because if you know a little bit of everything, then you're better off than just being totally focused on one thing. Because I guarantee you, the guys in like special forces and the higher up ranks of the military, and just any profession really, they know a lot. They know a lot more than just one thing, and that allows you, if you get into a situation, then you can think about what to do and make that happen regardless, and be able to improvise, not just get stuck. Not just get stuck on one thing. You just make it happen. And if you don't know how to do something, jump in there and try. Because if you say I can't, then you'll be one of those idiots. And in certain situations, that might be fatal for you. So, learn what you can about everything. You know, 2-3 years ago, I didn't know shit about chickens. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to keep chickens, right? Yep. Make it happen, no matter what. And, you know, some of you guys maybe watch some of those channels that have the ex-Special Forces guys, and they show you guys a lot of tips and stuff about whether it's like homesteading or shooting a rifle, or maybe they have some tips for exercise and, you know, how to work out like a Navy SEAL and stuff like that. Those guys are multidisciplined. They're not just some sitting at a desk guys. And now, a lot of the ones that are retired kind of are desk guys or took up social media. Look at Sean Ryan. This man's getting some big interviews recently. You got Sean Ryan interview with the head of Taiwan, which was pretty cool. You get a perspective that no one else has been able to get, except for him, that I've seen. I haven't seen anyone else get an interview in Taiwan. A live interview is pretty awesome. He's got good connection. And also being an ex-SEAL has a pretty good security detail, I'm sure. Let us know where you're tuning in from today. I just about got this under wraps. Yeah, a lot of wild and crazy stuff going on this week, you know, in the news, but the news is the news, right? So don't freak out. Yeah, Brian Feller says, yeah, Podcasts are fantastic. They are, man. Good interviews. This guy, he seems like a good dude. He seems like a good dude. It's hard to say who's a good dude these days. So we just try to find people to follow that seem to line up with our own interests and values. Because there's a lot of them out there that have shit for values. Now these boxes are looking pretty clean. They did a good job of not shitting all over these boxes. Got removable dividers in those boxes. I built this entire coop. This is my dream coop. It's got this shed on one side, coop on the other. And most importantly, the hen box on the outside of the run, because we used to go in here to get the eggs. And, you know, in the middle of the winter when it's pouring down rain and all that's a mixture of mud and chicken shit, it's not a place you want to be walking at 7 a.m. to get your eggs. So my dream was to build this, be able to put all the chicken gear on that side and get the eggs on the outside of the run. And that seems to have worked out for our homestead here. And we also upped our security detail for our chickens this year too, because we had 3 of them get hawked last year. And in our backyard, we have these really tall trees. Let me know if you guys have trees like this. Check this out. Think about doing an FPV dive from the top of that tree. That's a tall ass tree. It's about a 75-footer. And these ones over here on this side up here, you guys have seen me dive that one before. That's 75, 80 feet up there, way up there. It's hard to tell in the video, but you can tell by the house over there. That's a 2-story house. That tree goes another 60 feet above that house. So if you got any whoops in my backyard, you'll enjoy some dives. But yeah, I got some whoops coming up. I don't know when I'm allowed to release it. However, I also have, which I can tell you about, I have a new YMZ FPV, the Eagle 04. Have you guys seen that? It's an ultra micro. It runs on, I believe it's 10 series motors, maybe 1002 or 1003. And it'll run on a 3S, like 400 milliamp battery. So that's about the limit of small battery on an 04 Pro system. So I bet that thing is probably, it might be around the 100 gram mark. I don't know if it's gonna be that light, but it's gonna be the lightest 04 micro out there right now. It's the Eagle 04. It's gonna be pretty badass. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You just got in here. Lanio said we're gonna find out if Iran had any nukes. You know, they may have moved them. However, I'm assuming they didn't. I'm sure they didn't, Lonnie. Because, what the hell are you doing in there? Doing some talking. Hey, Brian from Colorado, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't think, I personally don't think they did. Just, I don't know. But I do think they probably could have moved their computers in time, get some of their data out of the way. So what I was going to say about, you know, whether they had nukes or not is if they had nukes and they tried to move them, we would see that. So we know if they did, and we also know where they went. So I'm sure that there's a plan for that if they still or did have them. which they probably don't at this point. You don't drop a most expensive bomb in the entire world without knowing that you're going to spend that money on results, right? Because everybody's expecting results when you spend money. You don't just do it for the fun of it. I mean, sometimes we do stuff for testing, but this obviously was not a test. This was a mission. And so, just to give some of you guys an idea too, like the one that was dropped yesterday is bigger than the Moab. That I think the Moab, I forget how many, was it like 30,000 pounds or something like that. And this one is, I forget how much bigger, but it's even bigger. That's terrifying. Like a bomb that weighs 30,000 pounds. God damn. How fast is that thing moving when it hits the ground? You would not want to know. You wouldn't even get a chance to know. You wouldn't even have enough time to say Allah Akbar. Nope. That's looking pretty good in there. Eat. All right, nothing like a clean coop. Now I don't have to worry about it for at least until next week, next Sunday. So tomorrow we're gonna do an FPV auction. So if you guys are looking for a new quad or a barely used quad, you know, I'll fly these things a handful of times for you guys, let you know, give you my feedback on them, and then I'm stuck with them. So I don't have, you know, I don't have enough time to fly all this stuff. So I try to make deals on the website. There's some of them on dronecamps.com you can grab, free shipping still, as long as I can do that. And then tomorrow, we're still having a community vote. So if you go to the post section, you can vote on what time tomorrow. So I'm trying to do more community voted videos and things like that. Let you guys get more control over what I'm posting and when I post. Patriot First said the sudden load taking off actually snapped the wing spar with the movement up that the pilot did. Different scenario, different plane and all, but physics remain. I can imagine that. You know, tell them what's going to happen. I know they had some escorts out there as well. The stress on the airframe after dropping that much weight is actually pretty bad, really bad. You would think it would be good, but the opposite of what you think. Like the plane crash after dropping revealed dust. Did you ever heard of the rod from God? No. Lanio, I never heard of the rod from God. I didn't read enough Tom Clancy. What's up, Nathaniel from Germany? Respect out to the EU and our German friends out there. I used to be married to a German. Don't hold it against me. She was from Berlin. Long time ago. Long time ago. Tungsten rod dropped from outer space. Dude, what would that do? I bet that'd put a hole in something. I wonder what a penny from outer space would do. Girls are free range and check them out. Living their best life. She. So they pissed me off, and maybe you guys, I'm just a newbie in this homesteading type stuff, but maybe y'all have some advice for this. Maybe Patriot Verse has advice for this, but they keep coming up to the back deck, and like nothing pisses me off more when they go on the back deck because they want to go hang out by the back door. They got all this land out here in the back to go walk around, and they just go to the back door and they shit all over in front of the back door. So then I got to get the power washer and I got to spray off the back deck. It pisses me off. So, right now in the news too, everybody's talking about what's going to be the retaliation. What is Iran going to do in retaliation? Um, my layman's guess, my backyard homesteader guess would be something close by. If they did try to do anything in the U.S., that would be super surprising. Oh yeah, yeah. Patriot First said chickens are like women. They are little women, that's for sure. Little women covered in feathers. They do want cushy living. I mean, Jesus, look at this penthouse I built over there for them. These chickens, these are high class chickens right here, you guys. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched any homesteading channels, but tell me if somebody's chicken coop on a homesteading channel looks better than that one. Because they got an open screen window on there. They got a walk-in screen door on the end. They got a little porch, and they got an automatic door, opens and closes. And there's a sensor on the door. If one of them gets stuck in the threshold, it won't crush them to death. We did have that happen one time before the sensor was on there. And that's a bad sight to see a chicken with his mouth sticking out and all his guts coming out his mouth after it got crushed. Yeah, we built this sunshade back here too. We put concrete down into the ground into these big plastic containers, and then we filled it up with some clay and about halfway with those pebbles and rocks. So now we got a chill spot back there. But what I want to do is build a patio around that whole area and move that box maybe a little bit this way and give some more room and have a nice fire pit and maybe put the grill back there. Maybe do some family movie nights or something back there. Have some friends over. Yeah, I love my coop. And so far, I got collard greens right here. I got 2 bean plants. We got some, I believe this is squash right here. The mint is taking off like crazy. We cut it back every year, but it just comes back like, we don't even water the mint. Only water the mint, we're like, oh, do not water the mint. I got some kale here. I got some more, those are, I think those were snap beans. I got 2 basil plants over there. We got 3 tomato plants on the backside, and this one's Roma tomatoes. And then we got some green peppers here. And then I got 2 more, I think these are banana pepper. And I don't know if you guys have any hints about a way to make the banana peppers thrive, but you can also see we did fertilize again. I fertilized this year more than last year. What's this chicken doing over here? Why are you laying like that, Miley? One of the kids named this one Miley. It's Miley Cyrus right there. She looks about the same. Thought that chicken was dead. So yeah, tomorrow, from what it looks like, you guys are interested to have the auction at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I have some 5-inch in that auction. I'll have some analog, and there may be some HD stuff. And there's also going to be some ready to fly kits, some whoops. Yeah, I've been watered every couple days for peppers. Okay. Mostly what we're doing is we're probably watering every couple days. Some days when I miss watering them, it's so hot here right now that I'm kind of like thinking like that's why my collard greens haven't taken off, and they really kind of, as hardy as they are, they're having a hard time. They're having a hard time coming up. It's little spindly looking plants, but that one on the far side over there looks like it might be taking off, and this one here, just I don't know what's happening with that one. Yeah, some snap beans. One of my favorite memories from when I was a kid was sitting out on my great grandfather's porch, and I own that house now. It was built in '37, and my grandma on my dad's side was doing we were just working on some snap beans, just sitting on the porch chilling, nothing special, just probably sitting out there for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes doing snap beans. Something therapeutic to snap beans. There she is again. Let's have some salad. That water might need to be refilled. Dump the schmutz out of it. Yeah, so last time we were on here doing a live stream, we did the teepee, the chicken teepee. And since I did that teepee, it's kind of funny. Here's an update for you. I spent all this time making this teepee, and Mrs. Camp said that it wasn't tall enough. She might be right. But they got all this dry dirt out here for dust bath, and then we got this here. And the reason I built that was give them a little shade and a place to dust bath and get them away from this area right here, because I put this wire right along the bottom to keep the rats out from under here, because they were just freaking going crazy under there. And so once I put that down, I don't want the chickens digging it up, right? So I had to put a bunch of boards down, a piece of plywood all the way across in front of it to stop them from digging up my wire across the bottom. It goes all the way around. I had to dig all the way around here, the entire perimeter, and put down that really small gauge wire so that those bastard rats couldn't get in there. And now they don't even use the teepee. It's over there. They still rather do it right there. Right, like feet away from where they did it before. I don't know. Maybe I need to raise it up. But it is getting hot. So here in a little bit, I'm gonna try to go out and do some filming for a video that we're gonna put out tomorrow. I got the RC helicopter, the Airwolf, the video. And I didn't realize it, but the Airwolf has GPS on it. So it has optical flow on the bottom. It looks just like the Airwolf helicopter with scale details. And then it has position hold with GPS position hold. And then it's got return to home. Low battery return to home, switch return to home, and loss of frequency return to home. So that's pretty cool. I've already filmed part of it this morning. It comes with a metal case. It's like a scaled down version of the bigger ones, like the Navy helicopter that you guys saw on the channel from Eachine. It is an Eachine one. I think it's called something like the original, the big one, the Navy one's called like the E200, E200 Pro. Appreciate the likes on the video. I'm just checking, run back through the chat here. Did a couple bushels last year, Lanio, of snap beans. That's awesome. Patient first said peppers will be okay when you first plant, then water more as you wean them from water. That forces the plants to grow roots down deep Always two things going on, above ground and below, for sure. Yeah, peppers are kind of challenging to me for some reason. I don't know what it is. I need to work on my art of growing peppers because it's really the thing I want to grow the most. And I had to put fences around our boxes because the hens, this is funny, when I first got, well, when we first got chickens over here, we had we had bought like $40 worth of starters, and I had them sitting on the up on the back table, and then I had some here in one of the boxes about ready to plant it. And I came out the next day, and they were all gone. They were all eaten down to the root. Those chickens had eaten all my starters. I guess I'm, yeah, they like some greens. I learned quick about that though. That sucked. Had to go back to like Wilco and get some more starter plants. And I should grow my own. Kind of homesteader. Doesn't do their own starters. So I also heard about these too, marigolds. That marigolds are good for keeping some of the bugs out. So you can put these in with your tomatoes. And last year, I'm surprised we don't have some coming up right now because last year we bought like probably like 8 or 10 of these things and put in the gardens. We had we had marigolds everywhere. Patriot first, so you get a hold of turkey shit. It's good, super fertilizer. I've heard it. You know, chicken shit is good. I can imagine turkey would probably have more good nitrogen in it, more levels, higher levels of it. But I've also heard that using chicken shit as fertilizer is also really super hot. So I've heard you should probably dilute it and use it that way. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the news with this Iran thing. And, you know, as powerful as we are with our surveillance, it seems like hopefully could see a lot of things coming, uh, and hopefully won't let those things happen. You know what I mean? So I was thinking yesterday. I was thinking, oh man, the FBI is going to be busy, and the other three-letter agency as well, abroad. Abroad. That's a funny word, isn't it? It reminds me of George Carlin. The door is ajar. Patriot First said, let's see if I can get this chat up. It disappears on the screen. I don't know why the YouTube thing does this. So you can see yourself or something. Makes no sense. Um, it is what it is. Indirectly associated that it's going to rock everyone. How their program came about. Yeah. So that's something I didn't even think about was, you know, how did they get the technology? And I mean, obviously, you know, layman's backyard, everyday homesteader suspicion would be that they got it from Russia or China. Said, here you go. Probably the same with Pakistan. But yeah, that'd be interesting if that comes out. They probably won't give it to CNN. But I do know one thing. It's going to be a fun week in the hobby because I've got like a little bit of everything this week. Like I even have I have a new e-bike to show you guys. I have uh, one RC helicopter. I have 2 drones, and I have 2 airplanes. So we have like a whole bunch of diverse stuff this week on the channel, which is a lot of fun. And tomorrow's video, when it comes out, give it a like, obviously, but also let me know. You can comment on the video for tomorrow and let me know what you think about the format of tomorrow's video, because it's going to be a completely different format than what you've seen in the past on the channel. Like, I've never done a video like this ever. And the point of doing tomorrow's video, the way I'm going to do it, I'm giving you guys little hints about how that video is going to come out tomorrow. It's going to be more focused on like the item itself. It's not going to be, not going to try to influence you any way except for what you see, right? I thought I just heard thunder. Hunter. But yeah, so I'm not going to give you any like influence or like my opinions on it. You're going to formulate your own opinion by watching the video, and also just giving a like a purely RC approach to the whole thing. Just like you and I going out flying together, right? Not the pros and cons and all that stuff. If there's any cons at all, you'll see it in the video and you'll experience it yourself. And I won't do any cutouts of any problems that I have with it. If I have any problems, it'll be in the video, and you'll get to see that and make a decision on whether you want one based on what you see. So if that sounds kind of cool, you should definitely check out tomorrow's video. And that'll post sometime before the auction. That'll post first thing in the morning when you guys wake up. You'll have a new video to check out. Let me know in the chat if that's a good time for you guys. Should I post, early in the morning before everybody gets going? That way you can watch it, whether you're getting ready for work or on the way to work or whatever. If you work from home, just slap it on the TV. Let it play. But I'm interested to try this new format. And I mean, the fun thing about a YouTube channel is you can always experiment and do new things. Hey, thanks a lot, Gusto FPV. Gusto FPV says, great stuff, Justin. Still here, still going, guys. Dedicated to the cause. Never giving up on myself, first of all. And RC and FPV the second. Man, this tripod sucks. I'm about to give up on this tripod. But tomorrow should be fun. So stay tuned in the news. If anything should pop up, I'll try to let you know if anything comes up with any DJI news, FPV drone news, and anything really crazy out there. You might see it here first. But I appreciate all you guys. I'm gonna run for now because I have to get going on making the video for you guys. One last question in there says, 6hex6 says, what's the deal with the O3 air units? They're priced higher than the O4s. I want a cheap drone with an O3 because I have Goggles V2 and FPV controller too. So 6hex6, what you're experiencing right now with the O3s being more expensive than the O4s is because, why do you think? They're not making the O3s anymore. And DJI does this on purpose so that you'll have to buy the newest thing. But the problem with that is that the prices that are still sitting in someone's warehouse somewhere, they know they have limited quantities on the O3s, so they can make up the price they want. And that's driven the price up on the O3s because they're out of production. The O4s may soon be out of production. So that's what's happening with the O3s. They're driving the price up because now it's a third generation product that is not being made anymore. So there's limited quantities of those, and they know that guys that are not flying Goggles 3, have Goggles 2 or Integras, want the O3s. So unfortunately, they drove the price up. It looks like $100 more. And they're also doing the same thing to the O4s already. The O4 Pros I've seen, the only one I could find in stock was like in UK somewhere, and I think they wanted $350 for an O4. And one of the places I did find it, it said in stock soon at the regular price, but it wasn't available for 2 weeks from now. So we'll see if hopefully another batch of the O4s is coming up. That's right, live like every day is your last. Enjoy it for sure. Enjoy all this. And hopefully you got something similar where you can just escape to. Because being able to escape to the backyard sometimes is the closest peace I have. I used to live in a lot of apartment complexes and apartments and a lot of places like that for a long time, but I also own a house. So I lived in a little bit of every type of living situation, so I'm kind of familiar with how much it sucks not to have a place to go to that's nice and green. I think that's why people fly FPV, because you got to get the hell out of the house and go sit in the woods somewhere and find some peace. Get away from the noise. So there's going to be a lot of noise the next 24 hours, speaking of the noise. So stay vigilant, right? Like Sean Ryan says, stay vigilant and think for yourself when you see a news item that comes out. Just think for yourself. Don't let them think for you. All right, y'all take it easy. Have a good Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow. And you'll see that new video drop, and we'll do the auction. It looks like we're going to do it about 6 p.m., but you can go vote on the time. Do a community vote, what time you want the FPV auction. So right now, looking like 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I will see you all then during the next live stream. All right, take care, my guys. Love you guys. See you on the next one.